All right, guys. Um, public. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Facebook has changed its features, and so if you care to join and chat for a little while, you can. Um, whatever's on your mind. This is a Sunday chat, and the topic is what is your freedom worth? Now, this was a question that was posed by many of the previous generations, not so much on the generation now, but this was a very prominent question for our forefathers. Uh, what is what is the cost of losing your freedom? And is is the thing worth the loss of freedom? How severe is the thing? And so I'm interested in what you guys think on that. Um, you know, I wish there was a respect button on social media instead of a like button. I just wanted to say that. Um, I respect you, right? Instead of like, because like is a very childish word. Like is used when you are a kid. You like this person. You remember when you were young and you had a crush on that girl that sat across from you. You liked her, right? Like is a very childish, adolescent um, word. I wish there was a different button on Facebook, like I respect you. I respect that. I respect this. Um, but what's your freedom worth? Now, people use Facebook and social media for different things. Me personally, I'm a podcaster, a hobbyist podcaster, and and a writer. And so I like to dilly dally with that. I understand some of you guys use social media for different things, family, rants, advertising. But this is a very serious topic, and the reason it's a very serious topic is because we are at that tipping point. And what we collectively believe will determine how long this thing lasts for. Um, so, not to mention, we were naive to think that this couldn't happen. This obviously could have happened, and it's happened. So I'm worried about people who are alone right now, but I'm also worried about people who are stuck in the house with their kids, and what that must be like. So I don't know what that can be like, but I see from other people that I chat with that it's it's frustrating. So um, I'm not really sure exactly um, what what this new Facebook Live thing is. It's weird. The interface is weird. Um, Now, when I was young, I lost my freedom. I was somewhat of a troublemaker. I wasn't really a troublemaker per se, but I was not the cool kid in school. I was not the popular kid in school. I, got picked on early in school, and so I always felt angry at the system. And so I was a bad boy. I acted out when I was young. I was a bad kid. I wasn't a bad kid, but um, I lost my freedom when I was young, and that had a profound effect on the rest of my life. And as many people do, many people lose their freedom. If you go to work, you're exchanging your time for your freedom. If um, if you join the army, you're giving up your freedom. You're giving up your time, and at the end of the day, you have to look back and wonder, was it worth it? Because you didn't have to do that. You could have chose to do something else with your time. Same thing with college. You might have went to college and graduated from college, and you didn't get the job that you wanted. You didn't get where, there's so many different things where you could have chose a different road. You could have gone somewhere else, right? And that's freedom. And Americans take that very serious. And I think people really need to um, understand where we're at as a society. We are at the point where we give up our freedom for um, um, security. And that is a dangerous thing. That is a dangerous thing because it's a tipping point. Once you give up your freedom, first of all, it's hard to roll back once you've given it up, right? It's easy to go to jail, but it's hard to get out, right? So, many people are locked in their homes right now. That is a loss of freedom. And that's how many people live their life. They're not free to do what they want. And that this has been a question that has been posed for thousands of years, ever since Augustus Caesar seized power over Rome, and or even before that. You can go back to Greece. You can go back to ancient China. Um, you know, freedom. What are you willing to sacrifice, right? Um, and that's where we're at as a society currently. Um, and I mean, even before this, we were headed down this road. Um, Now, you can choose to live in fear. You can choose to live in fear, or you can accept it and get on with your life and continue to live your life and continue to travel, continue to go out and eat. Understand the threat, understand if you're immune compromised, understand the threat. and take it very seriously, but do not impose or do not sacrifice the freedoms of others. That's what I believe. Now, if you're immune compromised, stay home. And you should have the choice to stay home. But this reaction, that is the thing that scares me more than the actual virus, is this reaction of let's just close the entire world down. That is a very real thing. And I hope everyone understands that, guys. These restaurants, Chili's, Mexi Wing, Applebee's, these restaurants are not going to come back, if ever, if we continue this lockdown. It's just not going to happen. Cultures change. Society is very dependent on what the news tells them, what the upper echelon tells them. And so if the upper echelon tells them you can't do something anymore, the vast majority of those people underneath them will take heed. And right now, what is at risk is our social lives, particularly the young people, because the young people are the ones who fill up the bars. The young people are the ones who fill up the restaurants, for the most part. Now, not all, but the single people who tend to be younger. I'm not talking, okay, the college students, right? They're the ones who are affected by this as well, because they're sitting in their house alone and being told that they can't go out and socialize anymore. And who knows? And so they're being affected. But the global lockdown cannot continue forever without very serious consequences. And the consequences will be there will be no more restaurants, there will be no more bars if we continue. I talked to the manager of Mexi Wing yesterday, or I think he was a manager or something, who just like he had to close his shop up, had to fire all, lay off his employees, and he's done. He's tanked. The waitresses, the bartenders, they're not getting paid. They're not moving. They're being told to stay home. And so they're haven't received their pittance. And so it's a fine line between that. But for those of you, I want to try to stay on topic. What are you willing to sacrifice for your freedom? That's a good question. Now I don't understand this interface yet, so Stream Health. Stream metrics. Facebook does not receive video signal. Now, I do want to talk about 5G. And now people are automatically dismissing 5G guys, the AI guys, as wackos and conspiracy theorists. But 5G, and when I say 5G, about facial recognition and location tracking. And then an administrator having access without your permission. Now, that's what I'm talking about when I say 5G. So that's another issue, 5G. Now, China is under an authoritarian regime. They are not allowed to go where they want to without digital tracking, and they have a social credit system. So, do you want that coming to America? I'm interested to know your guys' opinions on that. Do you believe that people should have access and data privacy? Do you believe that you should own your own data? Do you believe that somebody else should own your own data? That's another question. So let me know. Let me know in the comment section. I'll get off here, guys, because I have no idea on this, because the interface has changed, so I can't tell who's watching, who's not. As far as I know, nobody is watching, so I'm going to go ahead and get off here. But that is the question. Now, when I say 5G, that's what I mean by 5G. Facial recognition and location tracking. So I'm interested to know your guys' opinion. Let me know in the comment section. Thank you.